All right, let's go.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com. Or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
Welcome back, folks. Dan, how you doing out there, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'd be doing better if my internet wouldn't keep going out.
Internet going out, truck messing up.
Yeah, well, truck's golden now, buddy. And now I'm just down a rabbit hole with it.
Yeah, now you're going to spend all kinds of money that you didn't plan on spending in the beginning.
Well, I've always planned on it. I just never really had the need to. Now I have the need to.
Yeah, that's the way it usually happens.
Yeah.
Well, folks, turkey season's in full swing here in the Mountain State, and rumors are that the birds are not very vocal this year. So, not sure if that's because of the timing of the season, the weather, pressure, decline in numbers, but we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit. So, 2024 West Virginia turkey season, hunters harvested a total of 12,780 wild turkeys, a 3.2% decrease compared to 13,198 harvested in 2023. So the spring gobbler harvest saw 4.64% decrease, but still exceeded the 5 and 10-year averages. So the fall harvest was up about 17% from 2023, reaching 1,130 birds.
Wow. Okay. So, 2024 spring gobbler season, hunters harvested 11,650 bearded turkeys during the 2024 gobbler season. This was a slight decrease from the previous year's total of 12,217, but still above the 5-year and 10-year average. The top 5 counties for turkey harvest were Mason, Preston, Jackson, Marshall, and Harrison.
None of those counties we hunt.
No. Well, I used to hunt Mason pretty heavily.
Well, yeah, true.
I
Mason.
Still have some land I can hunt down there, but I just never got to it this year.
So the 2024 fall turkey season, 1,130 turkeys were harvested during the 2024 season, which was up 17% than the 5-year average, and similar to a 10-year average. This information was all courtesy of West Virginia Division of Natural Resources, and we would like to thank the men and women with the Division of Natural Resources for their hard work and helping us conserve and protect the wildlife so that we can enjoy it for years to come.
Absolutely. Hey guys, like we talked about, we've picked up a new partner. We're still waiting on the promo code to announce it, but until we get it, you can always go to aquacase.net. They are your waterproof case and bag experts. Also, be sure to head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to use Podcast 10 at checkout with outdoor-pro-shop.com for 10% off your entire order.
So this evening, we've got West Virginia content creator. We met there on Instagram. So without further ado, please welcome with me, Connor Boothe with an E. So we call him Boothe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How we doing, fellas?
We're doing good, buddy. And you?
I'm doing good.
Glad to have you with us this evening. So like I said there, we connected on Instagram and got to chatting there a little bit about hunting. And you had mentioned that you had a couple different things there that you would like to talk about. But most of all, let's just start talking about you and your background in the outdoor industry.
Well, of course, I'm Connor Boothe. From born and raised in Monroe County, West Virginia. Lived on the base of Peters Mountain, which is where I have trapped and hunted my whole life. It's deep family roots hunting, and that's kind of where that's my background there.
Nice.
So,
I'm assuming your parents got you involved, your dad, your grandpa, at a young age.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I might be biased, but I have to say, it's hard to. I put my dad up there with about anybody when it comes to hunting. So it's just starting from a young age, man, from grandparents to uncles to my dad. That's all we've done, really.
so
Nice.
primarily, just turkey and deer, or which you hunt most?
Yeah, no, absolutely. With them, when it comes to family stuff, it's mainly deer and turkey. Of course, you got your traditions that come with everything, so it's just something you keep going every year. I mean, we do a lot of dry fishing and other things, but mostly just kind of revolves around deer and turkey.
Nice. You mentioned you do a little trapping too, huh?
I do.
Now, do you sell the hides? Do you tan them yourself? What do you do with that?
So when I first started, of course, fur prices were a lot better, and this is while I was in school. So my extra money I was making was stuff I was selling. Later on, I guess there were some, changes in the fur industry, and anymore they're not really, there's no value in it. So the trapping that we do now and predator hunting is strictly more so management. It's kind of it's hobby style, I guess, trying to do what we can to help out the deer and turkey.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of all I do it for now too. Just try to help our turkey population, our fawns grow up, and all that.
Yeah.
So what's caused the decline in the fur prices? Just the exporting?
Russia ain't buying.
Well, I mean, it's definitely that. I think a lot of it is there's a lot of synthetic furs, that's replacing natural fur. And anymore, man, outside of the outdoor industry, there's not a lot of, I guess, way to put it is people supporting the trapping industry and fur market.
Gotcha.
But where I live, it's mainly an agriculture county. I mean, we don't even have a stoplight in the county other than the one they randomly put up when the Department of Highways is fixing a pothole. So it's nothing but there's more cattle than people here. So when it comes to trapping and predator control, it's mainly just doing it for the farmers.
Sure.
Gotcha. So have y'all seen an increase in coyotes and on the farms and stuff up in that area?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty steady. I wouldn't say it's increased, decreased. Last, I would say 10 years has been about the same. I mean, there's coyotes. You're not going to get rid of them. They're going to find their way into everything. It's just, there's definitely less people, not as many people trapping or hunting them. So I would say that does increase the population some, but kind of see it as a steady number.
Right on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your Bow Hunter magazine feature?
Yeah. So I'll give you the story of the deer. Briefly, so this deer, of course, I live, like I said, on Peters Mountain. This deer haunted our family for about 4 years. So we got his first picture. I would say he was around 2 years old. He was just a solid 10 that you would see average in the area. But he showed up at like October 26th. Well, the following year, he showed up October 26th again. And this is when he kind of blew up. Well, this deer would only come to our farm during the rut. So we got what's called a steep, and then there's a big bench. And then my grandfather is really hard about not shooting does. So this deer had his girlfriends that he likes to come visit every year at the same time. So my whole family was after this buck. He started hearing about there's a good deer in the area. Of course, everybody starts talking. Neighbors hear about it. The people hunting public land that's close to us start hearing about it, and then it turns into we've got to get this deer. So we're putting cameras out. We're seeing him. He's showing up a lot. Nobody ever gets the opportunity. The following year, he shows up again around October 26th.
Wow.
And this year, we kind of had him figured out a little bit better. I did have an opportunity during rifle season. Choked, cut some hair off his back at about 70 yards. So, that tore me all to pieces. After that, I wasn't sure if he made it, whatever happened. My uncle found one of his right side, and my grandma actually looked out. She has a big window in her dining room, and literally 300 yards from her house, she saw his other shed. So at this point,
wow.
This deer has grown into something that's not typical around our area. So following year, I got obsessed. It was the one deer I wanted, pretty much everybody in the family, and he blew up. And got him on camera around the same time. hunted this deer hard. Thought I had him figured out. Whole family, we'd get him on cameras on Winston Ridge, and we were all kind of focusing around that ridge. Well, noticing that he would always be on camera early morning or late in the evening, and just like these deer that are older in our area, they stay, they're smart. They have a way to like avoid people. So I knew there was a thick bedding area. Kind of just went out on a limb and was like, I'm just going to push in here, be aggressive, and try to catch him either coming in midday to bed. And got outside, had a great wind, went out midday. The deer actually came, found to work 3 scrapes outside of his bedding area, and I shot him at 30 yards. Well, wow. So of course, with that deer, I finally killed him. I just ironically, all my buddies and friends were in Ohio hunting. My family was all out of town except for my grandmother. And I say, grandmother, I think she was 75 at the time, 120 pounds soaking wet. I called her. She packed out about 300 yards in the woods with me and helped me drag that buck out.
Oh, my Lord.
So that's kind of tell you, we're mountain people, man. We are through and through. My grandmother's all about it as well. So that deer kind of blew up. Social media world is crazy now. And for a deer like that caliber to come out of our area, and the fact that there was photos of my grandma and that story of her helping me drag it out just kind of got out. Well, just like social media, got connected with some guys from the Bow Hunter magazine, and they were like, man, we don't have much at all that ever comes from that area. We'd like to have a feature, and that was just one of those things. I was like, absolutely. You're always, as a kid, you're sneaking your dad's hunting magazines, looking at, idolizing everybody, and the next thing you know, that happens. So that's kind of how I got connected with them, and I'm truly lucky and blessed to have that opportunity.
Nice.
That's awesome. What that thing end up scoring out at?
So that's one thing about my family, man. We have some very, very big deer, and we have not officially scored any of them. But I was actually talking to my dad. I was like, you know what? We need to just load up the truck one day with my granddad's, my dad's, and everybody, and just go up to the the hunting fishing show up there in Charleston and just go get them official and put them in for the county.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They do that every year, and you get it hung there on the wall of fame.
Yeah, I think that's something that we might be interested in. That's just something we don't. It's more so the story, man. Sharing the memories, and haven't been real big on. I've never done it. My dad and father's never kind of pushed that on me. Yeah. So we just never really officially scored anything.
Yeah. No, I got it. I mean, it's just, it's a lifestyle. It's not to you guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And it's, of course, you do the buddy sitting around tailgate and everybody measures it. You're going to take the highest score. And, when you kill a deer like that, dude, the rumors run wild about what that thing scored. I mean, I was told the other day, that they heard I killed a 180-inch deer. I was like, man, I haven't seen that one yet, but that's pretty cool. But it's, it might be something I actually do this year for the state show.
Well, the problem is when you get it scored, you always try to go bigger.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yep. So, you also had, with another magazine, you had one of your things in there about coyote hunting. Tell us a little bit about that. Which magazine was that in?
That was just Guns and Ammo.
Oh, okay.
Nice. So that's, we actually got connected with Larry Case, who was, used to work for the DNR. He's a writer for the Guns and Cornbread now.
Man, that Larry guy, I tell you.
Larry, man, we've hunted with turkey a few times, and he's a writer. So he got with us one day. We took him out for coyote hunting, and that's how that happened, dude. He's been a pal since.
Oh, Larry's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went turkey hunting with him a few times, but predator hunting, it's different. It's different than it used to be. So it's a new thing for him, and he was kind of interested with thermals, and I think he had some suppressors he wanted us to try out, and that's how the magazine came about there.
Okay.
But
yeah, old Larry, he's a good dude. I tell you, he's a hoot, man. Talking to him on the phone, I tell you what, he'll tell you some stories, and he's, like you said, a writer. He's been writing now for about 10 years, and he was captain with West Virginia Department of Natural Resources. Mm-hmm. And, he got into writing, and I was like, man, he does an amazing job. We first met him when we were at the Greenbrier.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we've connected and stayed in touch ever since.
Yeah, we have. He's a great guy. Great resource too. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, he knows a little bit of everything.
He probably can't get
Yeah.
out the front door now because his head's so big.
Oh,
So, how's your turkey hunting season been in Monroe County this year?
I mean, it's always great. I don't, if you kill them or don't, it's great.
Exactly.
It's always, I mean, I swear, dude, you could write a book for every turkey hunt you go on. If, you had to pick, I'd probably be like, if I couldn't do anything else, I'd just chase some spring gobblers.
See, that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, I love deer hunting, but man, there's just something about spring gobbler season that gets to me. I love it.
Yeah, especially when you're in Wyoming. I want to go back.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah, come on now.
Now that's a dream right there. Like that's my dream. I want to hit every state now. Now I'm hooked on it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna hit the 49.
Dude, I hunted with a buddy of mine that he's chasing the 49. And let me tell you about a dedicated turkey hunting. His name is Gary Stanton, and I thought I was a mountain guy. He's from the flatlands down in Alabama and stuff. And this dude, he's after them 49 birds. He don't waste no time. I was struggling to keep up with him.
Wow.
And that's it. But, when it comes back, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, when it comes back to like how seasons went, it's been a grind. I mean, it's definitely been a grind. I've had 2 double ups with my best bud and took 1 bird out of Virginia, but there's definitely a difference in the turkey buds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of Virginia?
Giles County,
Oh, okay.
right here on the border.
Yeah. See, now I was thinking about that the other day when I was hunting out here in Missouri. If I kill one here, that'll put me at 7 states. I'm on a pretty good streak. Now, I'm getting there. I just got 42 left.
Better than most.
Yeah. But so have you completed your Grand Slam or a World Slam or anything like that yet? Or
No, I have not, man. That's the goal, if I'm lucky enough to have kids, that's the goal before my wife and I settle down. But I have not, dude. I was in, right outside of high school and college at COVID and then had to start working. So haven't really got that chance to just go wild.
I got you.
Well,
See, like,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. I was just going to tell everybody we was going to take a break, but go ahead and say what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. We'll come back and I'll ask the question I was going to ask then.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to take a break, hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll talk about our Salute to Valor first, so I don't forget.
Yay, good job.
Yeah, good job. And then we'll talk about the turkey numbers and how they're starting to decline. Connor said he's kind of seen a decline there in Monroe County, so we'll talk about that. This episode of On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Douglas Barrels, located at 5504 Big Tyler Road, Charleston, West Virginia, 25313. Douglas Barrels has been handcrafting ultra rifle barrels for over 70 years. Their expertise is impressive and unmatched. If you want barrels made by meticulous craftsmen who take pride in their work and do not take shortcuts in production, give Douglas Barrels a call at 304-776-1431 or visit them on the web at douglasbarrels.net. Get your ultra rifle barrel today from Douglas Barrels, 304-776-1431. Speaking of Douglas Barrels, their new website is up, so go check it out at douglasbarrels.com.
Nice.
It's a lot better than their old website, I can tell you that.
Yeah, their old website was a little bit hard to navigate.
A little outdated,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up there with the times now.
Yeah, well, good deal. All right, so tonight our salute to valor this evening is going to go out to Larry Winninger, United States Marine. He was in Lance Company, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. He entered the Marines in October of 1962 and landed in Vietnam in July of 1965. He was wounded in December of 1965 and was awarded the Purple Heart, Vietnam Service Medal, Navy Accommodation Medal, National Defense Medal, among, I'm sure, a multitude of others, as he finished his service in 1996. So he had over 30 years of service.
Wow.
So we appreciate your service. I'm not sure what rank he was, but I would say he was up there with 30 years of service.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep. Thank you for your service, sir. God bless you. All right, so let's, Dan, you get into what you were going to say there before we took a break.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, talking about these 49 states, like, I've seen a lot here lately, like, between Caleb and all them guys, and
yeah,
I can't remember who else just went out to Washington, but
Caleb,
apparently,
Jared,
yeah,
actually, Chris Ashley's out there.
Chris Ashley, that's who it was. Chris Ashley went out there as well.
He's out there with Alec Brown from Vortex.
Yep, and he's actually they've finished up, and he's heading to Idaho right now. So.
Oh, that's nice. See, that's what Caleb and them done too. I didn't know that until he told me that this evening.
Yep. Well, yeah, Caleb said he killed between all of them out there, they killed 19 birds.
I think that he said that everybody that they were hunting with, he's seen 17 birds come to the gun and fall.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy, but apparently that's where it's at. Like, I hear a lot of people going to Washington because looking at it and on a map, it's the weirdest state we have. They have Easterns, they have Rios, and they have Merriams.
Yeah.
Tell me how they have Easterns, because Easterns kind of die out at about the Kansas line, like middle of the state, and nobody else. They don't have Easterns anymore until you hit Washington again.
You had to have a high, probably. Let's see. I wouldn't say. I was going to say a highfalutin turkey hunter, but you'd have to have a really big turkey hunter. Probably brought one in there and just kind of infiltrated the area.
Right, and it might not be a full Eastern either. It's probably like a hybrid.
Yeah, he said.
Deal.
Caleb said there's a bunch of hybrids out there. Like the Rios is really hard to tell from their Merriams because they're so close.
Sure, but yeah, we need to get us a big group together and do a Washington trip. Just flood the market out there.
Man, I tell you,
get them all.
That would be amazing. There's more and more people going out there from West Virginia, and I think Caleb started the trend.
I think so, because this is his third year now.
This is his third year. Yeah, he'll be in studio with us next week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, Connor, those numbers there in Monroe County, you say that they're on the decline. Tell us why.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different things. So I consider turkey hunters scientists because, really the definition of a scientist is somebody that's trying to expand their understanding and knowledge of a particular subject. Well, turkey hunting is that subject that I swear just over the years there's a definite decline in stuff. And I think personally that, of course, predators, you don't see anybody trapping hardly anymore. You don't see many coon hunters anymore. So that's the number one thing. I mean, definitely predators. And that's even like from birds. I mean, but alongside that is loss of habitat. And I'm not technically talking about like a development or something like that. Back in the day, like turkey or farmers used to have like hedgerows as their fences. They had autumn olive, rhododendron, stuff like that for their hedgerows. And now it's high tensile and barbed wire, and pastures are kept clean, almost like a yard. So there's nowhere for poults or any turkeys to hide. So not only do you have a high number of predators, you have that loss of habitat, and those two together is just, man, everything wants to eat a turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, what you're talking about with hedgerows and stuff like that here.
Yeah. I never really thought of that. It never.
No.
But you're right, 100%. It has completely changed from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you think about how many grouse have you really seen lately, or quail? I mean, you don't hear quail whistle. You don't hear anything. It's because for wild, birds, there's nothing like people brush hog. As soon as the spring hits and the grass starts growing, people start brush hogging those pastures. Or even in the woods, there's not many control burns done anymore because there's a lot of the regulations and stop that. So there's not a lot of undergrowth. So from when a hen lays an egg, you've got from snakes to bear, which my buddy actually just got a trail camera video of a bear raiding a nest.
Really?
And I'll share that with you guys. But then you've got, raccoons, foxes, coyotes, everything would eat a turkey.
Possums.
Possums, yeah.
Yeah,
Skunks,
there's-
everything.
Devastated nest.
There's definitely a
Yeah.
decline on coon hunting. I mean, I used to set. I mean, here in Cross Lanes, you used to be able to sit on the porch and hear coon dogs on Rocky Fork.
Oh yeah.
You
Everybody
don't.
knows
I used to run them. I don't run them no more.
Yeah, there's just not many people that do it. And I tell you why this is becoming a big thing and a big decline is because people don't have the time that they used to because you have to work so much just to live.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you look at Dan, look at you. I mean, I know that you're out there because you like your job, but you're having to travel that far to get into the field that you like to be in and to make the
Right.
money that needs to support your family. And you're talking about, other jobs and things that's leaving our state and our portion of the country. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what we're doing with our state and tourism and bringing people in for those things to enjoy our natural, habitat and stuff and our resources and our recreation areas. But, we've got to bring coal back in this country. I mean, it's got to ramp back up like President Trump wants it to do.
We got to do
there's-
something. The states in and of itself is imploding on itself to a point. We don't have the market for stuff. Well, coal was our biggest hit in this state,
Yeah.
and they've turned down a few pretty big manufacturers because for some unknown reasons, but that could have helped. But I don't know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different opinions out there. I strictly think that people has gotten out of the hunting and recreation because they don't have the time.
Yeah, sure. And when you don't have the time, you can't teach the kids.
You can't.
I mean, how do
you?
you think coon hunting's passed down? It's not really something you learn to a point. You don't just say, "Hey, I think I'm gonna buy this dog and take it out in the woods." No, your dad had a dog. Your granddad had dogs.
Yeah.
Beagle rabbit dogs. It was
There's not time to raise.
generational.
There's not time to raise those things.
Yeah, there's not. You can't afford to raise some of them because you got to raise your family. You can't afford to
Yeah.
raise 15 dogs on the feed bill.
Well, I think at
Yeah.
one point in time, my grandpa in Bluefield, West Virginia, had about 13 to 16 beagles at one time. Of course, he didn't use them for coon hunting, but he would trade guys that would. Now, he would use them for rabbit hunting, but he would trade all the time. And, that's what he done. He went out, and in the evenings, he went out and fed his dogs, and in the morning before he went in to where he was working and all that stuff. I mean, it wasn't that you had to work 16 to 18 hours a day or 16-hour shifts 5 days a week or work on the weekends all the time or work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
That was like back, when I was in high school, actually, of course you got to have all the cool stuff on your truck and do everything. So my extra money was actually coming from trapping.
Oh, nice.
So
And
that
see,
was
that's how a lot of people got it back then. Even before you, a lot of people pay for their gas by trapping mink or muskrat.
right. So there's no motivation to do so anymore because there's no benefit from it from what people see. And that's outside of turkey hunters because turkey hunters are crazy, man. I mean, we care about nothing but them birds. And
That's
it's the
true.
weirdest thing. You want them to thrive, but at the same time, you love hunting.
Yeah.
There's a bit of guilt that comes after killing each one of them, but then you're like, well, I'll do it again,
Yep.
So speaking of the passion of turkey hunting, what are your top 3 biggest desires in be it different states, different breed, whatever? What's your top 3 desires for a turkey?
Top 3 desires. Still, well, I guess the number one thing is to be able to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
I love to chase. Definitely get the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
And then just continue to hunt with buddies and nephews and the next generation. I mean, that's my desire is to get hunt with my nephews, hunt with my young nephews that are just getting into loving hunting, but I ain't old enough to do it yet. That's
Now,
my desire, I guess.
Do you have any states that you're like are a must hit for you?
Pretty much I want to go out west. I want to hit that open country. It's just something, see different scene, like get challenged a little bit and that's kind of like my goals. I guess probably my next trip will be somewhere out there.
Right.
Well, we got a perfect
now
place
you're a
for you out
mountain
there.
guy. You need to hit you a Gould's hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get you one of them big old mountain birds.
yeah. That's
I would love. That's like one of my all time wants for a turkey. I want to kill a Gould's. I think they're the prettiest turkeys out there.
They are pretty, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's funny because Gary, he came to West Virginia and actually ran into a random guy at Shell one day that had the Chasing 49 on his bumper of his truck. I was like, man, you in here trying to? I can't remember. His name was T.J. Hayes, and he was I can't remember exactly where he was from, but I was like, man, you struggling? He's like, dude, this is a tough one. Like, West Virginia is a tough state to hunt. Well, he ended up. I just told him about a piece of public, ended up killing one, but then Gary always talked about how hard West Virginia was to hunt. And now I'm thinking, well, when I start going out west, it better be easy if I can kill them here in West Virginia. Because the way they're talking,
Well, I mean, Mike, you could hit on that a little bit. It was different for sure.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying that as a joke.
No, it was, man, it was different. But I'm telling you, it's
the only thing I can say different about it, though, really, is that you can't pattern them birds. Like, there's no rhyme or reason the way they come.
No, there's not. And they're not, let's see, they are vocal, but it just seems like, I don't know, it's like they're really vocal and then they stop and then they'll sneak up on you. Like, when Dan killed this bird, I'm like, good Lord. So the gobbler come up and then the Jake come up behind him and then he had 15 hens behind him. And I'm like, God, I mean, if we hadn't have had, and I was talking to Caleb about this evening, if we hadn't have had, because he hates decoys, and I said, Caleb, I said, this is a situation where if we would not have had them decoys, I don't believe we would have been able to call that bird away from them hens.
No, he had too many of them.
He had too many of them.
You seen that hen decoy and was like, another one to my collection.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Have you fellas seen do you feel like there's been a decline?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I do. Yeah, I'm not sure, county specific where the biggest decline is, but the numbers show itself, so it is on a decline for a little bit. So
and you don't hear them talking as much.
Well,
either.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. And see, I'm wondering if it's a decline or these older birds have gotten so smart that they don't talk; they just shut up.
Yeah, that could be the thing. I mean,
because I was hunted 2 years ago, which I'd been hunting this bird for about 2 years. He was old and smart. This bird, I mean, you couldn't ask for a more perfect morning. Nice morning, sun was shining, not a drop of wind. And he gobbled on the roost. And I let it go. And I figured he'd fly down and kind of come this way or what have you. 10 o'clock, I got fed up and he never made another sound. I never heard another bird right in that area. I got up. I'm like, well, maybe if I walk over this ridge where I can't hear over into that holler, he's out there. He was still on the roost. He flew off at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you could just see that beard dangling as he flew away.
Huh. Yeah, I think
that's crazy.
I mean, there's a lot of different variables that can go into birds not talking, from pressure to anything. I mean, like barometric pressure. But something I will say, last 3 times that I've been in the timber, I've caught in 2 coyotes and a bobcat in the last 3 sets. So you think about it, these birds are already thin. Everything's chasing them. And as soon as they're sitting there, they're not going to talk a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're already having to look over the shoulder now. So then instead of just the typical gobble, but you got a hot bird, he's also in the back of his mind thinking, dude, last time I did this, something jumped there out of the bush after me. I mean,
that's one of the things that Caleb.
That's another reason they gobble on the roost and not on the ground.
That's one of the things that Caleb was talking about in Florida. He was asked the question, is the birds hard to hunt there? And he was like, they're not hard to hunt, but he was like, there's just a lot of people. So, I mean, these birds are pressured a lot.
Yep. Yep. And, I mean, who's going to talk? If you're over here and you're hearing like I say, if we're calling and, he's already got his 4 girls that he's flying down to every morning.
Yeah.
That's going to shut him up. I mean, you can't compete with that. But y'all talking about, decoys earlier. Those, when it comes to a bird, dude, that's one way. If you catch one that you cannot kill and it's just not moving, a strutter decoy will do it. I think almost it works so well that I do think that it will be outlawed. For one, a safety reason, because it's very dangerous with a strutter decoy, especially you never use one around public lands. And two, man, it just hits a different trigger in that a bird's brain to where he cannot refuse to go to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like reaping.
Yeah.
That's like out here in Missouri, they do it a lot. Like they've got these huge fields, huge farms, and it's public or not public, but it's private land. So you kind of know the farmer who you're hunting on, or it's your dad's land, and there's nobody supposed to be there at all. West Virginia, you don't know that. But
no,
we watched some the other day. We driving out to roost a couple, and there's a tom in the field with 3 hens. And I stopped. I told Jeffrey, I'm like, man, look, there's a strutter. He's out there strutting. And I looked and seen something else. I'm like, well, hell, there's another one. I said, oh, no, wait, no, that's a deer. And about that time, he's like, no, there's 3 turkeys coming in. And he had his binos, so he was glassing the field. And I'm like, shoot. So I jumped out and grabbed my binos, and I was glassing. There's 3 jakes coming into this tom. I mean, just on a straight beeline with him strutting. And that tom whooped all 3 of them.
Oh, my gosh.
He sent them off to the side, and he's like, you ain't touching my girls.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But like Jeffrey said, he said, man, if we'd have had a fan right then, he said, I'd have made a phone call real quick if we'd have had a fan. He said that was his uncle's, great uncle's land or uncle's brother. I don't know, something. Somebody he knew that was his land. He said we could have hunted right there that evening, and we could have crossed the distance because with a fan keeping it, he said you'd have walked right up to that thing.
Oh, yeah, guarantee it. Connor, how old are you, buddy?
Yep. I'm 27.
27.
Yep.
You're still a youngin' in my book, so, man, we sure appreciate you having coming on tonight, and it was good having you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me, for sure.
Keep the hunting heritage alive like we discussed earlier. That's one of your dreams. That's one of your things that you want to do. Keep going. Keep passing it down to the family members and them youngins.
Yep, the next generations, man, that's the ones that matter.
Yep.
That's where it matters at.
For sure. Yep, we've got to keep it going. All right, guys, we sure appreciate you listening this evening. Thanks for watching the live. We'll have all the links about what we talked about this evening in our description once this episode airs.
Folks, remember to check out naturesvoicegamecalls.com and use podcast 15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order.
That other secret code's still up there, hint, hint.
Hint, hint. That's right. It is still up there.
20% off. Just visit. You'll find it.
You'll find it.
Yep. All right, guys.
When it goes away, you still going to get that 15%.
Yeah, you'll still get the 15. It'll always stay there.
Yep.
All right, guys. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Will Jewelry and Loan. When you need cash and you need it fast, check out Will Jewelry and Loan. Come on in with your jewelry, firearms, electronics, tools, lawn equipment, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and even four-wheelers. They will beat any competitor's loan amount, and that's a fact. Will Jewelry and Loan guarantees faster and more cash for your loan than any other company in the area. They have your cash you need fast. Check them out today on their Facebook page or give them a call at 304-768-5101. Stop in and talk with them at 5523 McCorkle Avenue Southwest, South Charleston, West Virginia. Will Jewelry and Loan, 304-768-5101.